This is the place where God
This
turns
is the
pain
this
into
is the
purpose.
place where God turns pain
Welcome
into
to the
purpose.
valley.
Welcome to the valley, to the valley.
Hello everybody, it is Ngosnati over here and I'm joined by the amazing, the wolf, the one and only, my rib cage. And you are?
I am Thandile Koiki.
Come on.
Welcome back to the valley.
Valley.
We did say, guys, that we are coming back with a brand new space. I mean,
Aroma.
you can see this is an elevation
Come
from
on.
what we used to do, it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So today's Tandra,
Teta gandona mhlanje, so teta gandona mhlanje.
What are we actually talking about today?
I think I truly enjoy this topic. Because, as you know, I've read so many things, so many books, so many podcasts, and we're only talking about this one thing.
Sure.
Gratitude. And I think this is important because even in family situation, our family, it was important for us in the journey of our 7 years to remain grateful.
Sure.
And I think in hindsight, too many times we were trapped in the place where we want the next thing. We want the next thing.
We don't want to be in the valley.
We don't want to be in the valley.
Yeah.
We don't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think now that I look back, I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry for grumbling. I'm so sorry for complaining all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like the Israelites coming out of the wilderness.
We definitely are the Israelites.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I read the Old Testament, I'm like, oh man, actually, those Israelites are me.
Yeah.
You know, they are us.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's true.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about today.
Okay, great. So obviously we've been married for like 7 years.
Like.
We have been married for 7 years, fam.
No, 6.5 in November. It's 7.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Mathematics here.
Shut up.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So anyways, we've been married for 6.5 in November, 7 years.
Sure.
And I think we've been through so much. So I want us to go like year by year and actually reflect on how God has shown up in our marriage, in our lives, and just what are we actually grateful for and now that we're here, right? So I think firstly, I think I'm super grateful to have been married young. I think there's a lot of pros and cons. I mean, we've spoken about this in the previous episodes of marrying young.
Yeah.
However, I think God really came through for me specifically in the sense with all the traumas that I had and the things that I have been through to bring someone like you into my life. One, would actually lead me to know Christ. And then secondly, the fact that you were so patient with me and all my things that I came with, okay? And I think obviously as we got married, there was grace over your life as a husband to be able to walk with me through those things. But why I am specifically grateful for being married young is the fact that I genuinely feel like I'd either would have been dead or like been a mess out in these streets. I'm a very naive and trusting person. And guys, the dating pool is here. It's hard.
Yo, it's tough.
It's very, very
It's
tough.
a principality.
So I feel like, no, Shem, heard her down. Like they were going to just slosh me down. They were going to kill me. And also I think I would have been in another life and in another understanding of who God is and what life is all about that would have actually resulted in just a death. So in the literal sense as well, I do think. So I'm truly, truly grateful for that, number one.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think, our first year of marriage was, what I'm grateful for is also, I was trying to say our first year of marriage was interesting. What I'm grateful for is the foundation that was set, because what God did was expose us. And I think the exposure was needed for us to kind of know, hey man, actually Nkosnati, you're whack, bro. Like, bro, whack. And I think if without that, I don't think I would be the man that I am today. Not a perfect man, not a man who's, the best, but conforming more and more to become more like Jesus. And I think that first year was intense, but I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? And that's why we talk about conforming to Christ, and we talk about partaking in the suffering with Him, because not only do we partake in the suffering, but we also get to partake in the glory. And I think that's the marriage. People don't understand that once you get married, you're exposed to a lot of things, your traumas and all those things. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Sure. I love what you said about like we were exposed, because I never thought of it like that. Like that's something to actually be grateful for. I think it also got us to like be like the fear of God in us to grow more.
Sure.
And again, to
Yeah.
not trust in our own understanding and the fact that, oh yeah, like we got this, we love each other. Like for us, our first marriage wasn't like lovey-dovey.
There was no
Hey, we
ish.
got in there,
Aye.
spiritual warfare, traumas, the things, you know,
Okay.
everything. And it's so easy to look at those things and feel like, God, why us? You know, why couldn't we have had the perfect honeymoon, the perfect first year like everyone else who gets married?
We didn't even have a honeymoon.
Yeah,
It was
we had a
we had a-
nighty moon.
yeah, you had a dinner at your mom's work.
Hey, that was a 5-star
That was,
hotel,
oh,
honey.
bro,
We
that was
had
dope.
fun.
It was dope.
But we're gonna have our honeymoon soon.
No,
Don't worry.
bro, got you.
Our coming days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can see most. Look at us.
There's elevation.
For sure, for sure. But I really love what you're saying about the exposure. It really takes away the pride we can have in ourselves at times. And I'm thinking of what I was trying to do in the week, like yesterday actually.
Was
And
it?
then, and then I came back and I was like, okay, yeah, no, Gusnati, I can't do this.
Sure.
And yesterday as I was cleaning, okay, let me fill you guys in.
Sure.
So I was attempting to fast, you know. And this fast, hey, that's gonna be like a big one. And he was like, fam, are you sure you're touring? You're doing all of these things. Like, are you sure you wanna do this now? And I was like, yes, I'm inspired, I'm gonna do it. Ah, guys, 24 hours didn't end. I was in the kitchen. I was eating.
Eating.
I was like, ah, God. And as I went to go switch off the lights before bed, I was speaking to God, you know, and it was kind of that thing he was reminding me of, like, I'm exposing you to yourself so that even when you are doing what you're doing, that you don't actually take pride in the fact that, I did this first by myself, I got it, all of the things, you understand?
Sure.
So yeah, that's great. And then I think let's come into our second year. I think one of the things that was like a bit of a was the living situation.
Sure.
So as you guys may know, we came straight out of school and I graduated. Well, graduated because it became COVID after that. I couldn't graduate, but I got my diploma, my degree. And then and then we didn't have money, right? We didn't have money, we didn't have a car, didn't have a place to stay. We have 2 kids. And we just lived in Kosinati's parents' cottage, right? And we were staying there for some years, guys. And I heard this.
4 years?
Yeah, it was 4 years in and out. Sometimes we're trying to live
To move
by
out.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And then the rent will come back, you know. But I think in those years, I am grateful for how that forced us to actually have a stronger family bond, even with your parents.
Yes.
I think maybe if we had the money and we just moved out, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to work on the closeness of our relationship as we did. I mean,
Nabazali bethu,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Bekunzima, bra, like it was truly, truly hard, not especially, I think on both of us, it was hard because you had to navigate being a son, being a husband, being a father in the same house.
Sure.
And I had to navigate the fact that I've never had a father. Now I live with a father. And now I'm married and I'm a mom. All of this is new. And I'm not in an environment that's neutral, or at least one that I am familiar with. So I am truly grateful for that hard season. It was hard, but it taught me so much resilience. It taught me how to get along with people, how to do life with people. And just, yeah, I think I'm truly, truly grateful for just that connection that we had.
Yeah, and I think year 2 was particularly tough for me because that's when I recognized that actually, man, the friendships that I have weren't going the way that I wanted them to go. So I lost a lot of friends. And I think looking back, I'm like, oh man, I'm actually glad that happened because now those friends are people I don't think they would have equipped us or poured into us the way that they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the ones that we have now, I'm like, oh man, these guys are dope. Like they on fire for God. They love people and they love us. You know. And I think that's year 2 for me, and I'm grateful for friendship. And just linked to what you were saying about staying at home and just being with our family. And I think that for me was tough, bro. Like I think being a father, husband, a son, it's like
Many hats.
it's a conundrum. It's just a lot of hats. And I think the second year, third year, fourth year, just really being in a space of how intense it was mentally I'm grateful for it because now I can come out of that looking at how things are now. I'm like, man, I've gone through so much stress. I know what stress is. I know what pressure is.
Yeah.
Now I can live life and be like, ah, bro, this is nothing. You know what I mean? I can go to 2 kids and be like, bro, 2 kids, work, 3 jobs, all these things.
You've done it
There was
all.
a point I had 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know what I mean? So what God was doing back then was pruning.
Yeah.
A lot of pruning. A lot of dying to self.
Sure.
And I think year 2 and 3 is a mixture of that and also losing a lot of the things that we were so attached to. So I think we were like, oh man, we married, so we must have the car, we must have the house,
Yeah, of
hey, we must have the
course.
holiday.
That's what married people.
Hey, that's what married people do. In fact, we had friends that were doing that. You're like,
And they were not even married.
hey man, like, God, I wanna, you know, what about us? But I'm glad that you didn't have that experience, bro, because I got to go through the
I'm not
valley.
glad, but like, thank you, Lord. I'm not glad, but I'm really.
But look, we got closer. You know,
it's true.
I trust you, bro. Like no one's business.
true.
Like I know you're not there for the money.
There was no money.
Not there for the money. Because there was no money.
was no money.
You know what I mean? And bro, and to be quite honest, I think I mean we know someone or a couple that is going through, you know, quite hectic stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like when the money is not there, it's like things are not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful, bro. Like I get to have you on my side when things are tough, bro.
Sure.
Like
sure.
things are, you know what?
I'm a real one.
You're a real one, bro. Like manyani, man. Like, and I think that's the part of the valley. It exposes you.
That's true.
And I'm so glad I got exposed to a woman that loves me for me. Aish.
That woman.
Come on.
My God.
You know?
No, we love
Yeah.
it. I think then to our listeners who are listening to this, you know, you may be listening and being like, okay, guys, it's good for y'all. Doesn't mean, you know, it's my portion. But I think this is not only subject to being in a marriage, you know,
That's
or
true.
it's unique to us. The wonderful thing about God is that his promises are available to all those who belong to him. So the fact that he says it in his word that we mustn't look down upon small beginnings.
True.
We mustn't
That's a
look down
word.
upon small beginnings.
That's
And I
a
think as we're reflecting on the things we are grateful for that God has helped us through, that God has given us through these very tough experiences in the valley, that we can look at this in life in general and can apply it into your situation to say, okay, where am I now? What are the things I'm looking at? I'm like, Lord, I just want this thing to move. And I really want to encourage you to be present in it. It was hard for us to be present in staying in one room together. Sometimes you want to see this face, okay? You want to smell him. You don't want him to breathe. Like, oh, it's a lot, you know. 2 kids. It was just a lot of cramping, a lot of pressure. But if I had chosen to numb, you know, myself throughout that experience, I would have missed out on such great lessons that I've learned through that journey.
Sure.
And we also wouldn't have been ready for where we are right now. Because one thing about God, he loves us so much that he will not give us things we can't handle.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure all the time that, okay, this is rough. But Alistair said this to us, like, how can this thing serve me? Instead of trying to rush through it and be like, let it be done because it's uncomfortable.
Sure.
I don't like it. But how can this thing serve me? And that's the only way you grow, guys. It's painful. It is not nice, but that's the only way you can grow. But I think year 3 for me particularly is when I could see the light in our marriage. I was like, oh my, I remember I told my friend, I was like, oh guys, get married. Like, it's nice here. Like, oh, I wasn't sure in the first 2 years, but it is truly, truly amazing. And that was also an interesting time because that was shortly after I had the whole idols thing happen and I was blowing up.
Sure.
And then I had this conviction from the Lord, and he said to me, he didn't call me to be a superstar, but to make him known and to bring his children closer through the music that I'm doing. That thing rocked me. I was super, super depressed, and I had to go back to like doing sales in retail and
Waterfront.
No, that was foam time.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to foam. That was foam time, so I was managing at the Freedom of Movement store. And guys, the first few months was really, really nice and amazing. But then, as any other thing, it got really, really challenging. And then I was moved to being a manager very soon. And I had a lot on my shoulders. But I felt like the money and the work was just not, hey, it was not computing, fam. But I learned so much in that as well, in that particular role. I remember I was like, God, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to move. And because when I came to that job, because I had to choose between the super like great brand that I could be working for and this, and God specifically put this job in my heart. And the words He gave me was, I'm there to serve. And when I got there, I served. I was like, I'm done serving. Hello, God, what must I get? What
What's
must I
next?
get?
Sure,
You
sure.
know? And God was like, nope, we're not done. And I remember speaking to everyone at church. I remember Brother Jose, shout out to Brother Jose. And he said to me, Tandile, if you quit now, and God hasn't said that you must quit, like your boys, when they go into a very rough patch or go into this job and they just like, I want to
I
quit,
remember this conversation.
you won't have anything solid, to encourage them with.
Sure.
So if you stay in here, you actually are building a testimony for yourself that you can get through hard things, even jobs and stuff like that. So I think our careers has also been a point of wrestling in our marriage. I think we didn't know where we're going for a long time. You would get a job in this sort of field and get it this field and that field and that field, even with me. And I didn't do my film degree. I didn't really work in like social anthropology stuff, but I was like getting into sales, 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 and I didn't enjoy that at all, especially the hours retail takes from you. So I think just staying in that job, it really, really helped me. And also now I'm grateful that there is no job that I'm scared of. And also, I'm also not scared of letting go of a job. I'm not scared of actually saying, oh, this is what I want in terms of my salary, in terms of what I expect, and this is what I'll do, and this is what I won't do.
Sure.
So I'm also grateful in these years that, shout out to you as well. You gave me room to be like, fam, if you feel like now it's time to stay at home, I'll hold down the fort. You figure out what you need to do. Like being married to someone that's also creative and has other ideas than the conventional way of making money. So I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that you took out of me, I think it was the third and fourth year, I think I was having conversations with you and I was saying, hey man, being at home, I felt like I was constricted, being an only child. And growing up with my mom and dad, great. But there's an other side of me that I felt like I was pushing down. And when I met you, 2018, you gave me a glimpse of who Nkosinathi can be when he taps into that side. And I think it was year 3 and 4 when I came to realize, man, there's a creativity about me that I can tap into. If you don't know, I'm the I rap. You know what I mean? I spit some bars. But the beautiful thing about that is that even through the jobs that I had, it was all these things. They all built and equipped me in terms of my creativity.
Sure.
And I think that's where I'm grateful for the most, because all the places that we've been and all the things we've gone through, they were all on purpose. You know what I mean? And I think Paul writes, I think it's Colossians or Philippians, he says, rejoice always. Again, I say rejoice.
It's Philippians.
Philippians, yeah. So I'm like, oh man, like Paul is in chains, bro. Like there's a lot of churches. Sometimes he writes to churches he hasn't planted. Epaphras plants them, but he reminds the people, be thankful. Some of these his epistles, he always starts with thankfulness and gratitude. I thank God for the Father, and praying that people will be strengthened in their inner being, that Christ will dwell in them. And I think for us, our faith grew, especially in 4 or 5. Your year 4 and 5, our faith grew immensely because we kind of understood that, hey man, if you're doing this by ourselves, it's not gonna last.
It was not.
It was not gonna last. And I think seeing you go through the jobs and me going through the many jobs as well, it was beautiful to see, because we came to realize the provision wasn't coming from us.
Yeah.
It was always through him.
Yes.
So for you, I was gonna say, how do you? Someone is in a position where they have to choose the creativity or the business and all these things, or stay in this 9 to 5 in this place where they don't want to be at. How would you advise someone and give them wisdom in terms of navigating that journey? Do they leave where they're at and go straight into the business and the creativity? How would you
Sure. I mean,
advise them?
we can't really say this is the formula. There's no formula. But I think, man, one is just tuning your ears to the Lord's voice, relying on the Holy Spirit to help you. And also being okay, because I think sometimes we are so scared that we don't even make the move. Being okay with you don't know everything. You're bound to make mistakes, you know, but trust that whatever the enemy meant for bad, that God will turn around for your good. So I think one, to have that attitude of no fear, for he says that he did not give us a spirit of timidity, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. So now when you apply those things, that I have power from God, right? I have a sound mind, I have the mind of Christ. Therefore, these are my gifts, God. You bring it before him and you actually surrender those things to him to say, God, this is where I would like to do, or this is where I feel like you're calling me to go. So yeah, that's basically what I would say, is just lean into that. And then what else? And then give it a try. Sometimes God won't say, my child, take up the mic and sing, you know. Sometimes it's just like, hey, I feel like doors are opening there. Like currently, also, guys, I don't know if you can see it.
I don't think they
but
will.
I got a henna. It says Izolo Lam. I
Lam.
look like a gangster. But like, I got this henna tattooed because I have an EP coming out. Actually flying out to Cape Town like now.
Yeah, in the next 2
And
hours.
yeah, I would just really, really also appreciate it if you guys were to just stay tuned on the journey of my first time ever releasing a body of work by myself. So yeah, that's very, very exciting. But I think we've had our hot takes, and this was about gratitude. And I'm just so grateful to be here with you, mate.
Sure, sure. I think just to close it, I think just to go back to what you were saying and double tap into it, I think a lot of times people are in a position where they have to choose, you know, do I choose this and choose this? I think faithfulness sometimes is really the mark of, you know, the next step. Before Joshua and Caleb can get to the next step and to get to the land of Canaan, what happened was they go and spy and they come back and say, hey, guys, it's a beautiful land. We're going to get this land. And so the Bible says they had a different spirit. A different spirit means that there was a mindset to say, you know what, I don't care what's going to happen. My God is in control.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so sometimes people jump into something without having God on their side, without hearing from God and saying, hey, man, God, is this something that I have to do? And too many times we're listening to podcasts and other things and not recognizing that, you know, podcasts are great, but what is your relationship with God? You know, sometimes God is saying, no, stay in that job. I need you to stay in that 9 to 5 because there's a woman there who doesn't know about Jesus. And too many times we might even come to a point where we become so prideful to think, ah, man, this career is all about me. It's about the money. It's about the... And I think of this so many times, man, like if you wanted the job, you wouldn't been able to invite that lady to church.
True.
A life wouldn't be changed.
True.
A life wouldn't be transformed and introduced to Christ. And so to sum it up, you said something so powerful. You said, do not despise the small beginnings.
Yes.
And so this is an encouragement to anyone to say, whether it's marriage, whether you're navigating fatherhood, motherhood, wherever you are, be grateful for where you're at. It's important because God sees your gratitude and he also wants to bless you in that moment.
All right, guys. So as you know, we're coming to the end of our episode, but I just wanted to invite you all to say, listen, if this maybe struck a chord in your heart to say, hey, man, I don't know, my situation is a bit different. Please, we welcome your questions. We welcome your comments. We welcome just any thoughts you may have around this topic or even another topic to say, you know, guys, actually what you touched on, it reminded me of this or that. We are so open to hearing what you guys have to say, and we would like to hear from you more. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
See you guys next
It's the
week.
valley.
Like, comment,
Subscribe.
share, do the things.
Do
We
the
love you
things.
guys. This is the valley.
The place where God turns pain into purpose.